Tonight, two comedy legends will face off in a contest that neither of them has any awareness of, wherein their legacy and worth as artists will be judged by the omnipotently wise neckbeards who run Deep Fat Fry.
Oh boy, TJ.
See, TJ, you used to be the Attitude Era. Now I think you're just slowly going into the ruthless aggression.
Ruthless aggression, Scotty.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
Ruthless aggression.
I feel like the mid 2000s like you don't mean it anymore. It's like you used to mean it, but now you don't mean it, but you still say it.
Well, you know what, Scotty? You know what I have to say to that?
That
Dead.
Oh shit, he just garroted you.
You can't beat him, garrote him.
Dude, he fucking just Sweeney Todded you right there.
Yeah. The Demon Baba of Fleet Street. All right.
So TJ,
These are long.
before you start,
Try to make it brief.
Before you start.
Okay.
Before you start.
Okay, but brief. Okay, but quickly. Okay, but quickly. Go ahead.
Before you start, I want to speak up for the audience here and capitulate to the fact that people might be bored of seeing two talentless, lifeless, empty-headed hacks like these two fight for who is more irrelevant and who sucked the more life out of the people around them, which one of them made less of an impact. You know what I mean? This bottom of the barrel shit, TJ. People are tired of that. And yeah. I am tired of that. These two hack pieces of shit on the screen right here. Yeah. Bobbin Tilliams and fucking Ace Ventura. Okay? Listen.
Yeah.
These two fucking idiots stole everything they ever did. They fucking rode on the coattails of their graders and didn't deserve a fucking dime they ever made. Not an ounce of passion between the two of these men. I got more passion in a nut hair than exists in either of these two pieces of shit. So my verdict is they both fucking suck.
Okay.
I've said my piece.
Well, new category. I vote for neither and hate them both.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Usually we go hack versus hack on this, but I thought it might actually be interesting to go with two guys that are really respected, revered, and for fucking obvious reasons, and both fucking kind of swimming in a big ass ocean of fucking talent. Say what you want.
Yeah.
Obviously neither of them flawless, neither of them without their fucking, bad roles and all that kind of stuff, but
controversies.
Well, that's going to be one of our categories. So the categories we'll be judging these guys by, I got some usual stuff here. Early life, stand-up, television. I've split the films into comedic films. Then we're going to do the controversy section. Then we're going to look at their dramatic performances. So,
cool.
And then there will be a mystery category.
Whoa. Oh,
it even says in the document here, mystery category. So I don't even know it.
That's only up in here. You guys don't get to know that until it's time. because I don't want you thinking about it just yet.
And hopefully
Right.
you don't forget
But
it.
just remember, there will be a mystery.
I'm a little concerned you're going to forget the mystery category.
Oh, I've already. I'll just make it up when I get there. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Don't worry, Scotty.
All right.
It is actually written in the document. It's just invisible to you. It's right there.
Oh, shit.
You can't see it yet.
Fair enough.
I'll uncover it for your eyes. Because I knew I had to hide it from even you, Scotty, which is even harder now that you're here next to me. But still managed, Scotty. Still managed.
I'm not going to check all your documents.
What are
for
you
index.
rambling about, TJ?
Dude,
What
I
are you
don't know.
rambling?
Anyway, early life is the first category. Let's do it. Start with Robin Williams. Robin McLaurin Williams.
Look at that forehead, dude.
I know. Kid is huge, or maybe his mom is just real small. Was born in Chicago, Illinois on July 21st, 1951 to Robert Fitzgerald Williams and Lori McLaurin. His father was a senior executive for Ford. His mother was a model. Robin had two older half-brothers, a paternal brother named Robert and a maternal brother named McLaurin. Although Williams' parents cared for him, he was mostly raised by his family's various maids and servants. Rich kid. He did impressions and tried to make his parents laugh in order to get their attention.
Please,
So
clap.
rich crit, yep, basically. But unlike Jeb, actually able to find ways to make people clap other than begging them.
Right.
Yes.
Please clap. In 1963, the Williams family moved after Robert to Detroit, was transferred by Ford. The family moved into a 40-room palatial estate on 20 acres of land in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
So I did not know he came from a lot of money. but,
Brian Williams
I mean,
came from serious money.
Yes, he did.
Dad's an executive for Ford. Mom's a model. I mean, there's a lot of money involved in that.
So Williams attended Detroit County Day School when he was on the wrestling team, served as class president. When Robin turned 16, his father took early retirement and moved the family to Tiburon, California.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You skipped over a huge part of Robin Williams' fucking history, TJ.
I did. Yeah, go ahead.
At this
Lay it out.
age, before 16, he was a founding member of the Dead Poets Society.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Robin moved to God damn it, Paul! You made me lose my fucking
Tiburon,
Tiburon, California.
I'm sorry. I made you lose your place in your incomplete and shoddily thrown together research document, TJ. I'm sorry.
Yes, I mean, you know, I can't
mention
have
of the
every
Dead Poets. No mention.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I believe
I'm
that
sure
was
they're not a
little better.
document TJ himself put together as well.
California, where
Lazy.
Robin attended Redwood High School. At graduation, Robin was voted by his classmates most likely not to succeed and funniest. After high school, Robin went to college for political science, but dropped out to pursue acting. He became a student for 3 years at the College of Marin in Kentfield, California. He would perform in various plays, such as Oliver, where he played Fagin.
Fagin
Get
is like a
the first
tramp.
three letters of that. First three letters of that are F-A-G, Scotty. That's pretty funny, huh?
Fagin is
right.
a big role in that play. He's like one of the kids that works for the boss of the alley or whatever. He's like a little roustabout kid.
This is not from 1973, but in 1973, Robin received a full scholarship to Juilliard School of Performing Arts in New York City. As one of only 2 students accepted into the school's advanced program alongside Christopher Reeves. The two remained great friends until Reeves died in 2004. That's why you're seeing this picture here.
Sure.
During his junior year, Robin was basically told by his teachers that he was too good and that there was nothing more the school could teach him. Whatever. After this, Robin began his stand-up and acting career. Go forth, Robin,
when
for
they
you are
make-
perfect in
I'm
all
already
ways.
seeing the biopic, and like he's in the class, and like the professor's like, Robin, there's nothing left to teach you.
You have surpassed me already at even
Like,
this young age.
in
Now
fact-
go forth, you magnificent soul,
Truly.
and spread joy and laughter to the
A
world.
fucking horse just gallops up. He jumps on its back,
Yeah.
no saddle, and just rides out of the fucking thing in New York
Yeah.
City. Let's have a fucking dream sequence, dude. Why not?
Truly, Robin, or should I say, Mr. Williams, The pupil has become the teacher, and the teacher the pupil. There's no more that I can impart to you, but much more that you could impart to me, but you would be wasted there. Go forth to your destiny.
So how about Mr. Jim Carrey?
What a dork.
I know, right?
Fuck, dude.
What a nerd.
Let's go pick on this little motherfucker.
Sorry.
That
was mean.
it was, but whatever.
What's wrong with this fucking? I'm sorry. Never mind. Just, let's not make fun.
He looks like the little dyke chick from Snoopy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like Peppermint Patty or whatever.
Yeah, Peppermint Patty. Yeah,
dude. I don't know.
He's Peppermint Patty.
Anyway, Jim Carrey was born on January 17th, 1962 in Newmarket, Ontario, which is in America, Scotty, in case you were wondering.
Good.
Yes.
What was that? Wait, it says Ontario, TJ.
Yeah,
that
Ontario,
would be
Ontario, America.
Ontario. Oh, okay.
American Ontario.
So that's when it was a U.S. territory still. Good. Yes.
Yes. He was born to Kathleen and Percy Carey. There they are. Kathleen was a homemaker. Percy was a musician and an accountant.
I'm not impressed with these lower sorts, TJ.
Jim had 3 older siblings, John, Patricia, and Rita. Carrey was obsessed with the Carol Burnett show. As a child, at age 8, he began doing impressions, would often write letters to the show. At age 10, he was overjoyed to receive a reply. He was also heavily influenced by Monty Python and laughed himself to death at the funniest joke in the world sketch. His family spent 8 years in the borough of Scarborough, Ontario, until moving to Burlington, Ontario. Jim attended Aldershot High School while there.
The name.
Here he is in the high school years. At age 12, Percy lost his accounting job. When Carrey was age 12, his father, Percy, lost his accounting job.
Yeah.
It's a poorly written sentence. Leaving the family homeless. The family was forced to live in a Volkswagen van on a relative's front lawn while Percy worked as a janitor in a factory. Jim and his brothers normally lived in a tent in the woods in Lincoln, Ontario. Percy eventually got another accounting job at the Titan Wheels tire factory in Scarborough. The family moved into a small home across the street from the factory, and Jim, along with his brother, began working as janitors and security guards. The 8-hour shifts had a strong effect on Jim and his once outstanding grades in school when he was 14, and that had to normally work from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. So basically his grades slip. His entire life falls apart because his family is like suffering like massive poverty and living in like a van and shit.
Yeah.
Jim loved his family, took his father's words to heart. His father told him, "You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love." Jim dropped out of school on his 16th birthday, followed his dreams, pursued a career in comedy.
Wait a minute.
So kind of
Wait a minute.
What happened now?
Another incomplete fucking research document. You forgot to mention his stint as a fucking pet detective. And all
that's
of
a little
the
later.
cases
That was a little
that
later
he
in life.
solved.
No, there was
he later. This is his early life before he was famous. He was It's like with Robin Williams dropping the ball on when he was a fucking dead poet. It's like, come on, Peyton. And we know that's who did this, Peyton. I'm sorry. I mean, TJ. Incomplete research document, TJ.
Shoddy research. Just
shoddy,
what
slipshod.
All right, well, you can't include every detail. I mean,
also part about the grades, dude.
I
You just
also
went to a
had-
totally different fucking thought and sentence, TJ. This is a shoddy document. You should be ashamed of yourself, TJ. You should be ashamed.
This is not about my document.
Can we give
okay?
a point for lamest to TJ in this round? Can we add TJ
No.
as an optional recipient of the lame point?
What the fuck?
Yes, I concur. 1 lame point is awarded to TJ.
This is fucking. You guys suck ass. Anyway,
Dude, who's gonna fucking look?
I mean,
I'm not voting for fucking Williams because the underdog story. Like Jim Carrey's got that. Like he lived in a fucking van. He lived in a tent. he basically really had to pursue his dreams. Robin Williams, I mean, is a super talented guy. No denying it. Even though he did come from fucking money.
I mean, it's
He had
hard,
a
it's
easier
hard to
path.
not have a little bit of contempt for the easing of the road that coming from money has. Even though you know that it does. Like, I know you guys grew up rich, and you guys went through a period of profound uncertainty and poverty and shit, right? So it doesn't mean just because you grew up rich that you're gonna be rich forever. But
Of course.
you know,
But I mean, like, the story of his early life is basically like he was born with a silver spoon. Every whim that he had was indulged. His parents were completely supportive. Everything was great.
Yeah.
He went to Juilliard. He went to fucking any school he wanted to because he had the money. It's like there was no impediment to his success at any point. There was no adversity he had to overcome. Maybe there was some inner turmoil,
But I mean,
we don't
but
know about
honestly,
that, so
one of the rare times where just because he came from money does not mean he wasn't a super talented guy.
right.
He really was. I mean,
No one could fucking deny, but
at the same time, yeah, that's a very like privileged upbringing. Whereas Jim Carrey was living in a fucking tent, and he really just had to go balls in on his dream, and had nothing and no money, and he just had to like somehow make it
no
work.
safety net.
Yeah, there was nothing. His family couldn't help him.
Well, I concur with the renewed protest that there is not a lame TJ column that we can vote on. I say that in future episodes, there should be a TJ column in all of these so that we can vote if TJ was lame, either in his research or if he's lamer than the people we're talking about. But given that reservation, with that noted for the record, I also vote against Robin Williams in this one. He gets the point.
This is a stand-up.
I now would like to do something special. This is Charles Lawton.
Oh, it's okay.
Just kidding. This is Charles Lawton in the famous Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oops. It likes me. This is Soviet Thai. Okay. Here we go. You mind if I take this off here? Is okay? Oh, I put it back on. Not here tonight. Here we go. Soviet no pest strip. Okay. Here we go.
I mean, the crowd's eating it up for sure.
Right. And this is all just kind of like improvisational shit too, based on
Right. This is not even like the material that he's like come with or whatever. This is just like him fucking with the crowd.
So you see demonstrating just that 30 seconds or so that we watched, a strong improvisational mind. The crowd's eating out of the palm of his hand before he even really gets to a joke.
Yeah, he just kind of
like
like
a heckler in a very weird way by impersonating her and then moving on, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, you notice like there's like a real like the pace is going to be like just relentless, like he's not going to slow down for anything, no matter what happens. There's never going to be a bump in the road for him. It's just like we're going forward.
He's barreling through.
Yeah, no matter what. Non-stop engine moving forward. This is 77. Let's take a look at something from, I think this is 82. I have a similar shirt.
Crazy.
It's like Freddy's sweater.
Yes, I like the outdoors, and I'm the life of
It's like an American flag.
any party, whether it be Republican, Democrat, Independent, Socialist, anything, Libertarian, I'll be there. You know, I'm 204 years old. People say, Flag, how do you stay so young? Is it jogging? No. Is it tennis? No. It's waving.
All right, so I get it.
He's just making a joke. He is the he's like
the flag.
He's the flag. He's literally talking about being the flag. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
And once again, the audience is eating it up.
Yep.
Clearly.
88.
The comedy's doing
Has he slowed down? Let's see.
He never. The answer is no. Not to spoil anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Here he is doing some crowd interaction kind of stuff.
Basically sweat so much you can go, gosh, I can hear the yeast growing. This is a nice camera. Look at this. My God. Focus. Yes. Big camera. You know what they say? Big lens, big film. Yeah.
It's just like literally riffing on this like camera in the audience. Like, yeah,
So-
it's like a dick maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that's just like, yeah, I mean, that's where his mind goes to with this stuff, and he's just so good at it.
Look
Just
how phallic
those
this
people-
camera is.
Yeah, it just takes it and is like, okay, I'll just riff on it. It's like those rappers, like, hand me an item in your pocket and I'll rap about it. Just some people have that kind of, ability to just take an item or an object and just extrapolate so quickly.
Well, to answer your question, has he slowed down in 1988? His act was running out into the audience and stealing somebody's camera and doing an improvisational riff on it. So
Yeah.
no.
Nah, not at all.
So here he is in 2000. It's like he said,
Yeah, it's like, did he slow down?
It's
It's
at
like,
PNC.
yeah, here you go. Hold on. I'm just looking.
Still continues. I don't know how. How does that happen? At one point, they were asking to basically sanction and say that armor-piercing bullets are okay for hunting. Why? Is there some kick-ass moose out there in Kevlar going, bring it on, baby?
I mean, it's pretty much the same act with the same energy level, just like non-stop riffing on whatever fucking subject enters his head at any given time.
And you gotta
kinda
understand too, like we're jumping in the middle 5 minutes into this act where he's played people up and brought them to his speed and then just keeps them at constant laughter. Like,
shit. Yeah, I mean,
it's less
if you-
funny when you're not in the midst of the act. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
he's very good at bringing the audience along on this kind of raucous journey with him. And
I mean, the thing too about like Robin Williams as a comedian is like his comedy was not usually centered around building up to some like really big joke like a lot of comedians are. It was just like really a non-stop like joke.
it almost felt like he
joke.
updated like the one-liner to make it just, like, because he just had so many quips in his act, and it was just like off the top of his fucking head too. He was so great at that.
I mean, a lot of the shit he's doing is not even like traditionally a joke.
Yeah.
Like there's not like a build up and a punchline to a lot of what he's doing. It's a constant freeform stream of observational humor and very evocative visual humor that never stops. It's not necessarily like a stand-up like Chris Rock does it, where he'll tell a story that builds to a big ha-ha moment, right?
Yeah,
Robin
of course,
Williams, like everything's the ha-ha. He's the ha-ha moment, and you're just watching, waiting to hear what he's going to say or do
Well, he's
next.
just someone that has such a complete act. You know what I mean? Like so few people have these like acts that just totally dominate everything that they do. But he's just one of those people where it's like everything is like him. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
a lot of these people, it's like you almost feel like they're separated from it. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in this mode. It's like him. He's just living it. It's really good.
Yeah. Let's take a look at some Jim Carrey shit. This is him from the early 80s.
Sammy Davis Jr. impression, which is a lot more relevant back then.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you're watching stuff in the 80s. There's gonna be references that are like a little bit like blow the dust off the old tome, you know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, for some of us,
So you can see that like definitely like a similar fucking level of energy, but not like a free form stuff. This is way more like
this is rehearsed.
this has
obviously.
been perfected. This has
Yeah.
been rehearsed.
Oh yeah.
This has been like torturously like fussed over and stuff and perfected and brought to this place where he's like really what like he was really known for, especially as a stand-up, was like this like full body impersonation and like actually like mimicking the face of the person, because he had that like
like the Clint
rubber-
Eastwood face and shit.
yeah,
he would
like
do.
he
Yeah.
would do the Clint Eastwood impression where I don't know if we'll probably maybe it's
If
in
you
here
see
somewhere.
him on like late night shows in this time period, he would do a lot of shit like that, and he like his face would instantly just change.
Let's take a look at what he's doing here. So pretty much just
Tom
singing this fucking
Jones.
song. Yeah. Doing a few different like musician styles and shit, but like obviously like exaggerating the fuck out of them.
Right.
Here he is on Johnny Carson in 93.
He
you might be doing
definitely
some
does the
impressions
Clint
here.
Eastwood face in this bit.
You're probably right. Let me see if I can find that exact moment.
I'm not probably right. I've seen this. I know I'm right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if you see these appearances,
All right,
you
hold on.
get a lot
This
of
one's really good too.
impersonations.
This is James Dean, which is uncanny.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Man, that's just fucking crazy, right?
I know. It's like I've never seen someone do that before.
Yeah.
It's like an otherworldly fucking ability.
Yeah.
E.T. the extraterrestrial.
Jack Nicholson doing the Joker.
He does a pretty good Jack Nicholson too, actually.
Yeah, he does a really good Nicholson.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, okay, here we go.
They're all the same! Oh my God, what a pitiful. Wouldn't that be awful if I like named 20 people? They were exactly the same, everyone. Peggy Fleming!
All right, hold on.
Yeah, he's actually gonna do it.
Yeah, here's the
You
actual
gotta go to
part.
the beginning of that.
There you go.
It's ridiculous.
Michael Landon.
There you go.
Michael Landon.
Nobody in our audience is gonna know who that is.
Here he is actually impersonating Robin Williams.
Oh shit!
This is I don't know what year this is from.
Looks like it's like the 80s.
Mark. Yes, Mark. This week at Divine Anchorage, I'd like to report on the political situation down here in Canada. You should see it down here. It's quite a mess. And it's also confusing, too, all this talk of
It's not really a
separatism and
silent
everything.
fucking
The
film.
whole country's like a huge search commercial. Why is that, Mark? Because they have two countries.
This is really more of a Mork impression, I would say, but
you know, another gap in TJ's research. You didn't you failed to mention that Robin Williams is actually from another planet and that his real name is Mork. So this is.
I think you're confusing. I think you're actually conflating what Robin Williams and Jim Carrey did in their film roles.
You, sir,
and
are a
television
moron,
roles
and I will thank you for
with,
not correcting me in the future.
All right, I'm sorry. I apologize. But this is obviously like some kind of audition tape or something like that.
Yeah, this is definitely some 80s shit here. If he's doing Mork and Mindy, it's probably like late 70s, early 80s shit here.
But anyway, it's time to assess. It's time to assess. So it's a little bit harder of a category, I feel like, because you got two dudes bringing a lot of energy, but very different sort of styles of comedy to the fucking stage.
I know which way I'm going to vote on this one. You guys want me to lead off with my argument?
Here's where I'm kind of stuck. Maybe if you got to lean, I'll tell you where I kind of get stuck on it is like,
okay.
I look at Robin Williams and I see like a much more complete package of fucking stuff. Cause like, you know, Robin Williams, his written material's good. His improv material's good. He can do like, he plays with a lot of crazy ideas and concepts and references and stuff like that. And it's all very free form and high energy.
Yeah.
He's got like a whole package, but it's all like everything he does is kind of like something that, you know, someone else can like, you know, he's really good at the one-liner, but he's not the only comedian that has the one-liner. He's got the energy, but he's not the only comedian that has it. But like Jim Carrey's like weird facial contortion shit and his like willingness to be like super physical on the stage. I mean, I guess you can't say there's no other physical comics, but I've never seen anyone else do what he does with his face.
Right. Like
And I
doing
mean, like-
an impression based specifically on facial expression alone is something that I don't know if he invented it. Probably
I don't know
not,
either.
because people
I never
would-
seen anyone else do the fucking.
but he
do it
definitely
like that.
perfected it. So here's why I float the way that I float on these two guys, and it really does come down to preference. Both of these guys had successful stand-up careers. Both of these guys had audiences eating out of their fucking hands. So you can't really judge from that perspective. So you got to come down to personal preference. And for me, it's kind of one of the same things that between George Carlin and Bill Hicks that pushes me towards Hicks. George Carlin was rehearsed to the absolute fucking extreme T, and that's why he was great. He had a very specific cadence for his work, and he pursued that doggedly. Whereas you can see, Robin Williams, way more improvisational and freeform with his comedy, able to slip in and out of written material really easily. And to me, that's almost a skill that's lacking in some of these like super prepared comedians. You know what I mean? Now, not to say that like Jim Carrey couldn't have dealt with an interruption or a heckler. I'm sure he did and did it well.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he improved some stuff as well. But
sure, but
obviously,
it was
he really
central,
relies way more on his written material.
right?
Not even necessarily written, but rehearsed material.
It was a central part of Robin Williams' performance. I watched a lot of him on HBO. He did a lot of HBO specials and shit, obviously, that we can't show here. And I remember as a kid watching a lot of his, and they were just like a fucking tornado of energy. They felt half written and half completely extrapolated off the top of the head. And who knows if that, how much of that is and isn't, right? And so that, to me, the magic of that is what makes me choose Robin Williams over Jim Carrey.
I think what ultimately I think is pushing me more towards Williams is just the fact that when I think about Robin Williams, I can remember specific bits he did and like how I related to the ideas in the bit, like his big long spiel about golf and like how insane Scottish people were for inventing the sport and stuff.
Right.
Or, like stuff like that. Whereas with Jim Carrey, I really don't remember anything he actually ever said in a stand-up routine. I've watched him.
Sure.
Like he just his material, it was all about his physical presence, and that's a cool thing. And I think that like as far as that goes, he's among the best, if not the best. But I don't know. At the end of the day, like as a stand-up, I kind of want someone who's gonna like reframe my perception in some way. And like other than just like being impressed with his talent, I never really got that from Carrey, and I do think you get some of that from Williams.
Robin Williams is just like a fucking whirlwind performer that is just so on top of it that it really just transcends most other comedians' ability. So I mean, I'd vote for Williams. I do love Jim Carrey, but his stand-up, it's not bad. I love his impressions. His James Dean is great. And he's got a lot of fucking talent, but stacked up against Williams, who is just like one of those people that if you've seen his comedy, something's going to jump out to you about it. I mean, she just has that ability. I don't think Carrey has that ability. So if someone has that extra level of talent, then I have to vote for them.
Let's talk about their television work. That's Williams wins that category, by the way. We are now 1-1.
It's a horse race.
So let's talk about television work. So after a successful Happy Days appearance as the character Mork, Robin Williams was given his own sitcom, Mork and Mindy. The show lasted from September 14th, 1978 to May 27th, 1982. Big hit. Of course, this is a show. It was later they tried to rip it off for that Lucas Crookshank motherfucker. Remember that shit? They fucking tried to do that half-ass Mork and Mindy with like Lucas Crookshank. He's like
Robin Williams, he is not
Fred, but he's an alien or whatever. So anyway, here's a little clip. This is Mork meets the Fonz. Where does that happen? Looks like it happens right about here.
Cool.
So
invite you in to have a little small talk and everything. I got so many things to do, like give Richie a message from Mary and clean the bugs off my headlights, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Hello.
I've come for very important information. When I was here before, I observed an Earth ritual that I could not comprehend. It drove me Zazbot.
Well, don't get unraveled. Oh, hey, let's not get unraveled.
This is a weird moment, but okay.
You gotta understand the world of TV in the 80s was a weird landscape where characters crossed over and broke out a lot. And so, yeah, no, it's strange, but the Mork and Mindy was actually a really good show.
This is this is actually before Mork and Mindy. This is his initial appearance
know.
on fucking Happy Days. But yeah, Mork and Mindy, I've never actually watched the fucking show.
Really?
Here's a scene from that where they're doing something. I don't know. Fuck.
Hey, stop it. You're going to stretch out my boots.
These your boots? Really? I had to stuff socks in the front. Oh, Mark, you're so talented and handsome, and you have such great taste in clothes.
Hey, wait a minute. I never said that.
Well, it'd be nice if you did once in a while. Mark. Where are my car keys?
What's the premise of this show, Paul? This dude's an alien. I get that part. She knows he's an alien. She doesn't know what's going on.
She knows. Nobody else knows. One of the conceits is people can't find out that he's an alien. Right. And him learning how to be more human. And, of course, there's a love interest between the two of them as she falls in love with him. So there's is developed in the show as well.
Impregnate her with alien babies that
I
burst out
don't
of her
remember. I think maybe that's towards the end of the show. Like there was an arc where she gets pregnant with the Mork baby, but I know that they end up together. And it was a cute show. It was pretty funny. Robin Williams really gets to shine in it. Like his frenetic energy is really like handled well by being in this weird role.
He was also on Sesame Street. I'll just show some like stills of that because this is all owned by fucking HBO now.
Yeah,
and,
or HBO. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's owned by HBO. Paid a bunch of money for it. So,
but he's whatever. He was
just like.
I probably saw it when I was a kid. I watched fucking if that was in the 80s. I probably saw that episode of shit live on fucking PBS.
I don't know what this is.
The Crazy Ones.
The Crazy Ones. This is like a forgotten thing, at least for me.
One that I've always really looked up to as an actor and a comedian, so to work with him is really a dream come true.
I still got the magic.
We just feed him a few ideas, point him in a direction, and
so this is some show he did, I guess, later on that.
And of course, everyone's gonna polish his knob.
And Robin Williams is I just want to say the greatest. He's he's so good. Oh my God, yes, yep. He's just so good. We don't even have to give him a line. Just fucking put him on the screen and
just tell him. Well, maybe you should have written some lines because apparently this fucking shit flopped. Whatever. So
I doubt it's his fault.
Jim Carrey, his first role was this terrible sitcom called The Duck Factory. Was a flop, only lasted 13 episodes. Bizarrely made the choice to cast Jim Carrey as the straight man against all the other wacky characters in the world. Yeah,
that's weird.
Hollywood.
Yeah, so he's
hey guys, we shouldn't do that.
Like Buddy isn't the only thing that's.
Whatever. Let's hold on. I want to see a scene with this
Played
shit.
a little hockey.
Well, to tell you the truth, I can just barely stand up on the ice, but you don't exactly have to be Peggy Fleming if you're willing to skate with your shirt off. You know what I mean? What are you going to do now?
Wow. Like, talk about like spotlighting everybody but him. That's so sad.
Do you want to talk to the network?
Let's see.
Baggy sees this stuff out.
Thank you, Blue, and thinks it's a flower and sniffs it.
No, I don't.
Let's have a bunch of people who are stiff, wooden, terrible TV actors. They'll do all the comedy. What about this Jim Carrey guy? Yeah, make him the straight man. He doesn't do anything exciting.
Maggie, it's the network.
I'll take it in my office.
It's Marty Fenneman. Probably one of the great wits in America today.
Did you hear the one about the nun?
This is it. This is the whole performance.
Hey, guys! I'm here!
What a waste.
Upbeat.
I know, right?
I'm upbeat.
What are you doing?
I would normally hold a terrible shit like this against somebody, but he's just obviously trying to break into the business, and he's just horribly miscast.
Yeah.
Yes. So his big break, really, I think, was
In Living Color.
Yep. When he was on In Living Color, he was in 125 of the 127 episodes of In Living Color.
Fire Marshal Bill, dude.
A show meant to spotlight black talent, of which the biggest breakout star was the white guy. but
I
like
mean,
I
yeah,
have
I
to be the
guess
best
so,
on the
in the
show,
long
so
run.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Damon and Marlon Wayans both had impressive and long-standing careers after this show.
Sure, but none of them ever got that $20 million a picture Jim Carrey fucking paycheck. So
That's right. That's right. Now this one. Just pull it and pull it. Really pull it.
Is this like a problematic kind of trans sketch here? Yeah, I remember this one. I mean, I don't know how problematic it is.
Oh my God, hold on.
Look out, Michelle Pfeiffer. Till next time.
Dude, you should. I wish you had pulled Fire Marshal Bill though.
I mean, there's so many great fucking Jim Carrey in
It's
Living
right
Color
below.
moments.
Look, it's right there.
Yeah, sure. I guess I can. I mean, I'll give you a second of it, but all right, hold on. Hold on. Okay, yeah, hold on. All right, hold up.
That's I used to watch just for this shit. I love this bit so much. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Here is Dracula here somewhere. Hold on.
Oh yeah, and fucking this is he played Ray. What's his name? Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx
also
right.
got his break
yeah.
here on this show.
Let's see what's going on here.
White boy, I mean, I don't mind having a little cream in my coffee.
It's more of a Jamie Foxx moment, but you know, whatever. I mean, it's fucking.
He looks pretty good. He looks a lot like fucking
Gary Oldman.
He does, dude. He's like,
okay, so that's both. Neither of them have really. I mean, a little bit more television credits here and there, but most of these guys pretty much that summarizes the like important part of their television work. So, I mean, Mork and Mindy. Probably a great show, I guess. I don't know. I love In Living Color. I got to give it to Carrey.
Dude, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm so biased, dude. Fire Marshal Bill, I just love that bit. I'm sorry. I got to vote for Jim Carrey.
He's got more edge and shit. I
There's
mean,
no
whatever.
way.
I feel like the problem is that, honestly, it's a good thing Duck Soup fucking didn't know what they had in Jim Carrey, because I feel like Mork and Mindy was basically just Robin Williams getting sucked into a fucking duck soup for a few years.
No, I mean, it really wasn't, dude. Mork and Mindy helped launch his career. It was like probably the most important role that he ever got in terms of like getting exposure.
I mean, it did break him because it was popular and shit, but like, I don't know. It's just like,
but it was popular
humor.
because
so
of
you know
him.
what, dude? Because it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be the lone dissenting voice for Robin Williams here, because I loved Mork and Mindy as a kid. It was a hilarious fucking show. And, you know, it wasn't a show where he shared the stage with a bunch of other equally talented people. You know, it wasn't a show that had a Jim Carrey moment here and there. It was a show that was all Robin Williams, start to finish. Ran for, I think, an equal amount of seasons as In Living Color did, if I'm wrong. At least in the zone. So I'm gonna give my vote for fucking Robin Williams. Fuck you, TJ. Classic American sitcom in the golden age of sitcoms versus some funny appearances on a sketch comedy show where everybody else shines too. I mean, come on, how are you gonna make
Jim Carrey shined more brightly than the rest on that fucking show. Whatever.
Right, he shone more brightly, but like fucking Robin Williams was the centerpiece of fucking Mork and Mindy.
The centerpiece of a boring ass, bland fucking crowd pleasing.
There ain't no denying that, but dude, Fire Marshal Bill's a funny motherfucker, Paul. And you know what?
This is just
I have to come pay a visit to your house, Paul, for this terrible vote.
Whatever. This is just you being incapable of looking at cultural context.
Yeah, maybe. My failings are numerous and many. Anyway, here's comedy films. So we're gonna look at their dramatic films a little bit later, or at least some of them. These guys both have giant resumes. We're not gonna be able to get in every fucking film.
No way.
But
highlights.
Some highlights, some major important roles that they did throughout the spectrum of their fucking careers. So let's just Robin Williams' fucking IMDb page here. He was an actor with 112 credits, obviously. There's a lot of fucking stuff there. Some of them kind of blur the line, I think, between comedy and drama, like Good Morning Vietnam, I would say.
Dramedy
kind of has that like
is what you're
blurred
saying.
line.
I mean, dramedy is a subgenre, right? Like
sure,
comedy or black comedies. There's definitely some example of what I would call black comedies, like Death to Smoochie,
or World's Greatest Dad, or World's Best Dad, or whatever.
Yep, whatever that was.
That was pretty fucking weird. World's Greatest Dad, yeah. Probably the first super big movie role that Robin Williams had was as Popeye the Sailor Man.
How do you feel about Popeye as a movie? Are you a lover or a hater of this film? I love this movie. I'm willing to stand before I ask you. I love this film. I just wonder where you stand on it.
It always made me feel a little uncomfortable.
It is weird. I'm not going to deny it's a little uncanny valley, but it really, like, as a kid that grew up watching the old Popeye cartoons and shit, it's uncanny seeing it come to life in the way that it does.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's such a literalistic interpretation of the cartoon and the old comic strip,
enabled by the amazing talent of Robin Williams to just like inhabit that character, and of Shelley Duvall to
I would say that my appreciation for what Robin Williams does in this role is greater than my actual enjoyment of the film.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does.
But I don't hate the film.
I really
just
like
kind of.
it.
All right, Scotty, what do you think of what's your impression of Popeye the movie with Robin Williams?
To be honest with you, not much of an impression. I haven't really seen much of it. Like, I've seen it on TV kind of shit, but like,
so you ain't never really watched the fucking movie?
No, I've never really sat down and dedicated like I'm gonna watch Popeye.
You should.
It's just, I've always seen it incidentally.
I think it's actually worth watching. Like, both Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall do an amazing job of being Popeye and Olive Oyl. Fucking the guy that plays Bluto, I can't remember what his name is, but you'd recognize him immediately. Bluto is amazing in this movie.
DJ, how do you feel? Are you more?
I think it's a little bit on the creepy side. I don't know. It always had a weird vibe to it
because of the way he looks. Like, you know, the
yeah, and I mean, like, it's almost like they go too close to the cartoon, and it kind of has that like uncanny valley sort of like, you know, when some artist does like a hyper realistic SpongeBob or some bullshit, and they do this like really like gross looking thing. It's almost like that, but the movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, it doesn't hit me with the uncannies as hard as it does. You got to understand, like, this was the beginning of a lot of movies that we're still seeing to this day as the dominant fucking movies. The taking comics and cartoons and turning them into
absolutely
films. And like Popeye was a really early example of that. 1980, the year I was born, this comes out. You know, it's
a Robert Altman film. I was trying to remember the name of the director. It was a pretty famous director.
Yeah, 41 years ago or more, you know, like, so this is a really early example of like a comic book character and a comic strip character and then a cartoon character being brought into
the perfect role for Williams, though, because I'm like really likes to get lost in the characters he plays.
Shelley Duvall as well. I loved Shelley Duvall back before she became incapable of kind of doing things, because as much of a pain of it in the ass as she was reported to be on the set, her performances are always magnetic. Loved her in fucking The Shining.
Well, she is the perfect. And she's a perfectly cast Olive Oyl for sure.
Her Olive Oyl is amazing. I don't know if there's any point where we can hear her voice, but it's
let me see if there's audio.
Well, she just yelled right there. Yeah.
Let's see if we can hear that. Well, they're playing some kind of horrible thing above it, but you know, whatever.
It is what it is.
This is Hook, 1991. A lot of people love this film. I do not.
I absolutely fucking adore this movie, but my wife is on your team. We tried to watch it, and she was just like, you know what? I don't really care. And I was like, oh.
Dude, I hate that shit. I hate that shit.
This is a divisive fucking movie. It really is. It's really strange because I feel like people who love it can kind of articulate why they love it, but not fully. And I feel like people who hate it can kind of articulate why they hate it, but not fully.
I mean, I mean, I don't know how many minutes you want to spend, but I could articulate what I consider to be fully why I love this movie.
Go ahead, lay it out, because I've never heard a motherfucker actually justify this movie to me.
Okay. Number one, it takes a fantasy tale that I was aware of as a kid and updates it in a really fucking cool modern way by changing it a little bit. I loved the conceit that Peter Pan has grown up and forgotten who he is and become a real person, and he's got a family, and then he is thrust back into Neverland and he has to learn how to be Peter Pan. I love that arc, right? Because it's not a retelling of the old knock on the window. We get to see flashbacks of that as he learns who he is, but it's kind of a new story about Peter Pan going back to save his children from his old foe, Captain Hook. Dustin Hoffman is fucking amazing in this movie. Bob Hoskins is amazing in this movie as the obviously gay lover of Captain Hook. Mr. Smee, one of the many reasons, one of the two reasons why I love Mr. Smee, the other being his portrayal in the original Disney cartoon. But I thought that Disney did something really brave with Hook, and I thought it played off very well, right? So you have also playing old Wendy here. What is her name again?
Maggie Smith.
Thank you. Very accomplished actress, amazing in this fucking role.
Who has been old forever, by the way.
Yeah,
Another one of
she
these
was old. I saw this movie when I was a kid. This is a 1991 film, and maybe that plays into why I love it as well. But I'm trying to give you the hard facts of why I think this movie is worth it.
I saw it as a kid as well, so you know.
And so what it does is it, instead of Disney doing the lame shit that they did now, which is take a cartoon and just shoot a live action version of it, they did something. They actually put some mental energy behind it and made a modern tale and updated the Peter Pan story. And look, Robin Williams is amazing in this movie. He's so subdued at the beginning because he's playing this character that doesn't remember he's Peter Pan, and he's basically lost himself in money and not caring about his fucking family, or barely caring about his fucking family because he's all about money and blah, 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 and he has no joy in his life anymore. And then Hook learns where he is because he's back in the house he grew up in where the whole Peter Pan story took place. Hook fucking comes and takes his kids, and he has to go back to Neverland, almost be dragged back reluctantly, and learns how to become Peter Pan again. He saves his children. It's a wholesome film. Great update to the Peter Pan story. It's definitely aimed towards kids. So if you're going to shit on it for that, boo to you. Why do you watch any Disney film then? That's why. I don't think that's what did I say there that you would disagree with?
Yeah, you're a detractor of this film, aren't you, TJ?
Are you not?
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah,
I'm not an ardent defender like Paul,
right,
but
it's
like
got its problems. I've
enjoyed it.
Before I move on, I'll give you a problem.
It does drag at some points. I would say
the problem takes 3 words to say. Rufio. That character sucks.
The problem goes a little deeper than that, in my opinion. All right, so. Is the premise cool? Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'll fucking give you my thing. And if you want to have a brief rebuttal, that's fine. But so here's what I don't like. The premise is cool. I agree with that. That was what I think was the hook of Hook was like Peter Pan's grown up and he's forgotten. Yeah, he has to learn to be Peter Pan.
It was a nice twist. Yeah,
cool. Like that. That's fine. Hook and Smee, they're fucking fine. They're good. They're fun to watch. They're not amazing. They're fun, but they're not like whoa.
They're pretty fun.
So anyway, they're fine though. I like their parts actually, and I like the premise. But what I don't like is the fucking big industrial sized barrel of fucking Steven Spielberg saccharine bullshit that has been fucking dumped onto the fucking picture. The Lost Boys, once a fucking ragtag group of fucking ruffians, are like so nerfed and Nickelodeoned. It's fucking incredible. They sit around and eat like brightly colored slop. They're led by a dork named Rufio. Tinkerbell, who used to be like one step removed from a villain because she's so vindictive and jealous, is now just like, I'm a fairy. I mean, it sucks ass. It
Yes.
That's my critique.
Oh my God, TJ's fucking salty fucking critiques reveal themselves to be empty and hollow and shallow.
Empty and hollow and shallow.
Absolutely.
There was joy in the world.
The basis for this film?
Mad.
The basis for this film is the original Walt Disney retelling of the original folktale of Peter
Look
Pan.
at the Lost
and
Boys
Wendy.
in that movie. Look at the Lost Boys in that movie compared to this.
The Lost Boys in that movie are what would have. This was made in the fucking
They're
early
rough
90s.
and
So when it was
tumble,
made
and
for the
they're
kids.
fucking brutal. And in fact, in the original source material, it even implies that the Lost Boys kill each other when they get too old. So, you know.
All right. I'm not. Well, yeah, let's be honest. The fucking cartoon that this is based around.
Sure. Fair enough.
Right.
I could see that point. Fair.
I mean, come on, yeah, because let's look at anything that was inspired by a fucking Brothers Grimm fairy tale and talk about it. Although I don't know that Peter Pan was a Brothers Grimm fairy tale.
Isn't it based on a book?
It's based on some.
I'm just saying, like,
Harry or I can't remember his name, but
the
whatever.
difference between source material and expression in the modern age is often, and like, you can't just lean on that and say this movie sucks because of that. Number one, your love for fucking Tinkerbell. Let's be honest, TJ. Let's strip away the layers of this fucking potato. Your love for Tinkerbell is because you want to fuck Tinkerbell, and you don't really want to fuck the Julia Roberts Tinkerbell. And that because she's not feisty enough, and she's not spicy enough, and she's not busty and chesty and assy enough. Oh, TJ, you're sitting there nodding your head no, but you know I've reached the core of the crux of that.
Nodding my head no, that's not even a thing.
Oh, fuck you.
No.
You've jerked off
This is
to
a
the
nod.
idea of Tinkerbell fucking grabbing onto your
That is
dick and jerking
immaterial.
off.
That's immaterial. As true as that may be, it has nothing to do with this critique. Anyway, we can't spend too much time on this, but fair enough. Well, maybe we'll rehash this in more detail at a future date because I sense a good argument here. Anyway, next one, Aladdin. I mean, we can, he was the fucking
He's
genie.
fucking
He's the fucking genie in Aladdin.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need? I'm not gonna. The fucking.
You ain't
genie.
never had a
Best
friend
thing
like
about a great movie.
Right. Mrs. Doubtfire. I tried to rewatch this not too long ago, and I was kind of like, I don't know if this is aged that well. But
I'll concede that to you. It's been a while since I watched it. I will say that I loved it back in the day. So
most people seem to disagree with me on this, and no doubt Robin Williams does a fucking great job.
I loved it as a kid.
To see his kids.
I mean, this is a funny scene. So kind
There's
of
a
a
lot of
creepy
funny
premise when you like go back and think about it, but you're not really
Yeah.
supposed to think about it. So
No.
Jumanji. This was one of this aside from Angels in the Outfield, this might have been Stevie's most rewatched goddamn movie. I think he probably rewatched Jumanji about 200 times.
I could give or take Jumanji, but I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I was like 15 or 16 by the time this.
Yeah, you were a little old for that one.
Yeah, I definitely liked it, but I think it was like, let's see, like 8.
And
Somewhere
I was
in there.
like 10 or 11 probably. I was 10. So yeah, I think I liked it okay, but I wasn't really like super crazy about it. And it's not really like, it's a pretty straight laced performance from Robin Williams for the most part.
It
kinda
kind of
plays
has
like
to
a-
be because what happens to him is so crazy that he can't be crazy too. You know what I
No,
mean? Like
right.
the whole story, it's kind of a miscasting in my opinion, because like the story is crazier than him. And if you're gonna get Robin Williams in a crazy story, don't out crazy Robin Williams with all the set pieces and shit.
One of my favorite Robin Williams movies, The Birdcage.
Fantastic
Where,
film.
He and Nathan Lane play gay lovers, or a gay couple that are trying to hide their homosexuality from their I can't remember if it's their son or their daughter's fucking.
It's their son's. I remember this movie.
Parents-in-law kind of thing.
Yeah,
And it's Gene Hackman as like a politician that they're trying to. That's like an anti-gay politician that they're trying to hide their gayness from.
Well, like this, I watch this movie a lot. I've rewatched this movie probably 20 times.
Things go to extreme lengths.
They run a gay drag club in Miami Beach.
Yeah.
And they have raised their son together. Their son is biologically Robin Williams's from a previous relationship before he was out. And Nathan Lane was basically this kid's mother. And the kid comes to them because he meets somebody at college who happens to be the daughter of a very conservative senator. And he says they want to meet you before we get married. We're going to get married. We love each other. But will you please? And the son basically asks a very insulting thing of his parents, which is, will you not be you? Will you pretend to not be a bunch of gay drag queens? And will you pretend to be something like a normal person? And of course, the concept of two people living in Miami Beach, openly gay, of what a normal person is even more flamboyantly ridiculous than what they are. You know what I mean? Which is the whole point of the movie. As the more they try to act like they're not gay, the more strange and gay everything becomes. You know what I mean? And one of the funniest parts of this movie is there's this conceit at the end because the boy's mother is still alive, and he begs her, please go pretend you're still married to dad, because he doesn't want Nathan Lane around. And the mom, as she has for the child's whole life, flakes out on him and doesn't show up for the dinner. And Nathan Lane goes and gets in drag, which is his job, and comes out, and almost everybody else that Gene Hackman brought with him seems to be aware that there is something not quite genuine about Mrs. Whatever, you know, but Gene Hackman fucking loves her because she just puts on this country conservative girl attitude. It's just a great movie. It's a fantastic turn for both of these dudes, and I don't know, what can you say about it?
I'll show you a little clip moment here. I think there you go. You can see Nathan Lane.
Come here and give me a hug.
that reaction shot from Robin Williams right there is great.
Yeah. Because the great thing about Robin Williams is this is him all cleaned up and straight, right? Trying to be straight. And he is so gay even when he's cleaned up. And he's like appalled at how extra gay Nathan Lane is, but he's standing there gay as a fucking $3 bill. I love this movie. It's great. It's not like it actually celebrates drag culture and celebrates being who you are and being open. It has kind of a sappy ending where like the conservative senator realizes what's going on and realizes he's in a drag club, and he's like, oh my god, my career is over, and he tries to sneak out and ends up getting in drag himself, and he gets caught, and then it leads to him like being like, all right, well, drag is okay, and he becomes a friend of everybody's, and everything works out great.
Wow. Well, obviously Robin Williams has many, many more comedic film roles than this, but these seemed like,
where's Death to Smoochie?
I mean, Death to Smoochie is not really a super beloved movie. We could talk about it though. It seems like that one
should be.
I love Death to Smoochie. I think Death to Smoochie is one of my favorite fucking masterpiece. But
if you had to have me pick, what is your favorite comedic turn in a film that Robin Williams did? Death to Smoochie is in my top 3.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean that you know, whatever. Just go watch it, I guess, because it's awesome.
I love Death to Smoochie as well.
Hated by a lot of people though.
But yeah, I mean, it's like so many people I've tried to fucking show that movie have been like, this is fucking horrible. Why?
It's misunderstood. It's misunderstood. People don't understand dark comedy anymore. It's either played strictly for laughs or strictly for the boo-hoos, and a movie that tries to do both and more besides goes, monkey no understand.
Monkey brain, no work.
Like Death to Smoochie is a comedy movie that doesn't condescend to you and give you like people bonking each over the head or being weirded out by how gay each other are. You know what I mean? It actually forces you to engage a little bit of your brain to laugh at it. And if you can't do that, then you hate Death to Smoochie.
Well, that's why it's trash. Anyway, let's talk about Jim motherfucking Carrey, huh?
So definitely from your montage here, a more colorful movie career, if anything. I mean, look at this shit. Look at that.
I don't know. He seems to like green a lot.
Look at the cast of characters he's played, man. Crazy shit.
So some of the crazy thing is that 1994 houses, you know, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask all in that same year. So obviously the biggest,
he was on top of the world. Then,
the biggest year of Jim Carrey's career. Huge hit after huge hit, making him a pretty much lifetime mega star from that point on. You know, he could probably be in 10 flops and he'd still have his legendary status just from that. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these. This is the film that really broke Jim Carrey's career. Hated by critics, but kids wanted to see this movie over and over and over again because it's just like
it's sight gags and puerile humor to the extreme. Basically,
it's a dude talking out of his ass. No one had ever talked out of their ass before. I mean, it's a weird barrier to think that but honestly, there was never like a comedian that's like, I will pull my butt cheeks apart and just talk literally from my ass.
Let me ask you a question.
It was an innovation.
I love how that gag ends, by the way, with him having his ass ask if anyone has a mint.
Yeah.
Really love animals, don't you?
If it gets cold enough.
Now, the mascot of the Miami Dolphins has been kidnapped.
Oh, righty then.
And of course, all the little catchphrases.
Which were big at this time. You know, Bart Simpson was a big character by this time. So it's like, you know, he had the cowabunga and the eat my shorts. And, you know, we were very catchphrase happy back in the 80s and 90s. All right.
Oh, for sure. And this one, I mean, probably like until Austin Powers, this was the one that everyone was like, you know, constantly quoting and imitating. People still
use this one. A lot of people use this one, and it's just been passed down to them generationally now, and they might not even know. Like, I hear people all the time going, "All righty then," you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't even know. Yeah,
you guys are doing an impersonation of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, just so you know. Of course, The Mask, same fucking year.
By the way, can I hold on before you move on to The Mask?
It's actually Dumb and Dumber. Sorry.
Ace Ventura, if you go back and watch that movie, is one of many movies that were made around this time that are just like almost shockingly transphobic.
Yes,
like shockingly, unbelievably over the top transphobia that was played for fucking yucks and laughs in a way that, like, looking at it through the modern lens and through the lens of like the trans movement having made an impression on people, it looks pretty fucked up. So there's a lot of movies around this time that were like that.
I mean,
this isn't one of them, I don't think.
It's probably one of the worst in that regard because the entire plot twist is like
not.
Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel, and then, you know, the reaction of that and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
it's pretty horrible.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a trigger warning, I guess.
It's funny, but in a darker way than it was intended to be, I think.
Yeah, and you kind of have to like get back and I mean, I guess you shouldn't get back in that mindset, but we all know Dumb and Dumber, though. I mean, I would assume most people watching this probably have some familiarity with what this movie is.
I mean, implausibly, this movie is half about Jeff Daniels in a movie that could have been a runaway, nothing but Jim Carrey. This movie is 50% Jim Carrey, 50% Jeff Daniels, two really hilarious fucking dudes that don't steal time from one another, but play perfect foil and pair to one another. Arch enemies at one point in the movie, best friends through most of it. You know what I mean? Like, just absolutely great pairing of really good physical comedians.
I would say, too, that of the Jim Carrey 1994 mega hits, this probably holds up better than the other two.
I totally agree with that.
It's probably the one that remains the most funny.
Ace Ventura. I mean, yeah, if the time it was funny, I don't think I've gone back and ever watched it again.
Ace Ventura is kind of you can respect what Jim Carrey did with it because it's so perfect a vehicle for his talents. This movie, to me, when I watched this like a year ago, maybe, or a year and a half ago, maybe less. This movie to me does not hold up very well at all. I will say that Jim Carrey does a pretty good job at playing the dual role as like the passive kind of. He almost plays his Duck Soup character as the more likable Stanley Ipkiss sort of guy, and then obviously plays the more like insane fucking mile a minute Jim Carrey when he's The Mask. But some really dated CG and shit, reliance way too much on the CG character face and not enough on Jim Carrey's natural fucking talent with his face. You know, a lot of these cartoon gags don't really work. I mean, like you look at like something like Popeye that also is trying to do the like, let's make a cartoon, but reality. As disquieting as I found the results in Popeye, they actually look better and hold up better than the CG in The Mask.
Sure.
Which a lot of early CG is like that.
That's the crux of it. I did a review of The Mask on my Letterboxd, and it's one of those movies that unfortunately was made in the era it was made, and the order of the day was CGI. And you've got this guy, Jim Carrey, who when we were looking at like his fucking stand-up was all based around the fact that he's got this incredibly uncannily malleable face. And in this movie, basically the sin of it is that they cover that face up with goofy makeup and shit. And it actually looks kind of cool. He plays it off, and then they spend so much of the movie having him just set up lame CG sight gags and shit, which don't hold up all that well. And
not at all.
But I think a lot of people expect this movie to be something that it isn't. It's like a comic book come to life, which it's based on a comic book character. And to see, I really think it's better than a lot of people give it credit for. I think people sleep on The Mask because like it's not as good as the other. It's certainly not as good as fucking the previous movie we talked about, but it's better than fucking Ace Ventura. Holds up better than Ace Ventura, in my opinion.
I would rather watch Ace Ventura, but The Mask is not bad. None of these movies are really.
I guess you don't like
films.
Cameron Diaz as much as I do, then.
Cameron Diaz is hot in this movie. The relationship between those two characters is really, really rushed and doesn't have any believability or credibility to it.
Well,
but I guess
it's a comic book. Like, think about it.
Sure.
Like,
it's over the top.
It's taken to the extreme. What we've done modernly is we've taken like these comic book films and we fleshed them out and give them more story so that it's more like a movie. This movie didn't do that. It just left it like a panel comic, and I love that about this movie.
One of the things about this too is I don't know, the villain in it's not very good. Like I don't know, there's just a lot of problems, but it's all right, and there's some funny Jim Carrey moments, and his talent does shine through, and it is a great vehicle for him in his career. But probably my least favorite of the '94 films. I would say that I like Ace Ventura a little better, but Dumb and Dumber is easily the best, far and away.
Didn't Jim Carrey bury his father with the paycheck from this film because he died while it was filming and he couldn't be there at his bedside?
I think I might have heard something like that.
I know he buried the paycheck from one of his '94 hits with his father because his dad passed away in '94 while he was doing all that work.
This is a movie, Liar Liar. Jim Carrey plays a lawyer who his son wishes one night that his father for one day could not lie, and the wish comes true.
Dude, I love this movie as a
It's
kid.
the day of a big court case. So, of course, Jim Carrey, being a lawyer, has to kind of be able to lie.
Oh, yeah, he definitely needs to lie.
I love the pen gag in this movie.
But he can't do it. And Jim Carrey, like this role probably could have been done by a number of comedic actors who would have brought a totally different thing to it. But Jim Carrey, like what he really does well in this is like you kind of see it here is like he wants to lie. He's desperate to lie. Everything, like all of his problems would go away the second he could just tell a fucking lie, but he can't fucking do it. But of course, throughout the process of being forced to be honest, he comes to like self-actualized bullshit. You know how this movie goes. But
of course,
he does a lot of cool stuff with it. He does a lot of great physical comedy, as you'd expect from Jim Carrey. He did a Batman turn. He played the fucking Riddler in one of these Batman movies. Pretty stupid fucking movie, in my opinion. I guess Jim Carrey brought something to it, but it was very much like what he was bringing to other stuff around that time. Like,
oh my God.
I disagree. Well,
Okay, go ahead.
maybe not that it's like a lot of the stuff. I mean, because Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey to a certain degree, but Jim Carrey brought like an almost androgynous nature to Edward Nygma that I don't know. Maybe it plays in how sassy his character is presented or whatever in the comics. But like I said, I was never a big DC Comics guy. But this character in a bad movie is really a kind of compelling performance.
On Well, it's a very physical performance, as you'd kind of expect.
He's got like a glam rock vibe about him that it's totally Ziggy Stardust shit. You know what I mean?
Completely.
To me, it kind of comes across
He's
like
the Riddler Stardust.
Ace Ventura, Riddler. Oh, I don't know.
I remember everyone was when this was announced. Everyone was really confused about this. Everyone's like, he's either going to be the best fucking Riddler of all time, or he's just going to suck. And I don't think
it was either.
Do you know what I feel like?
It's very middle of the road, but I think a lot of people shit on it because of that. Because a lot of people wanted him to be this amazing Riddler, and he was kind of just like meh. So a lot of people just shit on this role, but I think it's okay.
Here's what I hate about this. I think I honestly came out of this even as a kid when I watched it. I would have been like 15 when this came out, and of course I went and saw the Batman movie when it dropped. And I remember thinking like, Jim Carrey's probably the best thing about this fucking movie. And the worst thing about this movie in a sea of bad fucking shit, let's be honest, is something that goes under everybody's goddamn radar. And that is Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. It is worlds worse than any other Two-Face I've ever seen on the screen.
Tommy Lee Jones, for some reason, felt the need. I guess it was a fear of being upstaged.
To overact.
But he felt the need to try to act against Jim Carrey's Riddler, and it's really fucking cringe because it's like that. You're Tommy Lee Jones. Why are you doing it? Why are you trying to be?
And
Jim
these
Carrey?
two characters are two different things. You know what I mean?
That's probably another thing that really fucks this movie over is at one point Two-Face and the Riddler team up, but they're both the same character because just one being played well, and they're both like, I'm outrageous and I move around a lot and I'm super physical and I'm me. But like, wouldn't it have been much better if Jim Carrey was that, but Tommy Lee Jones actually brought the Tommy Lee Jones energy and was like a more like serious threat kind of villain?
I remember my fucking film behind the scenes history well, they did not get along.
Oh yeah, there was the
did
famous
not get along because Tommy Lee Jones fucking hated, and it actually wasn't him trying to act to match the fucking energy of Jim Carrey. It was done antagonistically. Not to try and upstage him, but to really honestly try and ruin every scene, because that's what he felt Jim Carrey was doing with his over exaggerated movements and the way that he was in the scenes. And instead of sucking it up and realizing that the contrast between that and a brooding, dangerous, half-faced villain who decides people's fate with the flip of a coin is cool. And it's going to make him just as cool as the guy that's fucking prancing around, if not cooler.
Can you imagine how cool Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face could have been if he would have just played it right?
Well, and you know why he didn't play it right? Not because he's incapable, because you've seen Tommy Lee Jones do the type of character you're talking about a bunch of fucking times. His character in The fucking Fugitive, his character in fucking Lincoln, any of these big fucking roles that Tommy Lee Jones has had where he plays a brooding, dangerous person, right? He knows how to do that shit. He just didn't because his ego wouldn't let him, because he was mad at Jim Carrey, mad at having to share the screen with a rising
your
star.
Buffoonery.
Right. And so he basically scuttled the movie on purpose.
Another film Jim Carrey super well known for.
I hate this film.
Grinch Stole Christmas. I am also not a fan, but I gotta say, major props to Jim Carrey for being able to act through that insane and, from what I understand, almost inhumanely uncomfortable,
debilitating makeup. Yeah,
fucking makeup.
Not making it some CGI bullshit.
Was this 12 hours in the makeup chair or something?
You know what, dude? I'm not going to give him any props for that, because you know what? It was the same amount of pain and debilitation when I watched this fucking film. So you know what? I'm glad he suffered for this. I hope he learned a lesson.
You just break even, huh? Yeah, it's break even.
I don't know. I mean, seeing what Mike Myers did, encumbered by this makeup, versus what Jim Carrey could do, even shining through.
Look,
I'd say,
is he a good choice for the Grinch? Clearly,
yeah. I mean,
the
film is highly successful.
Is one frame of this superior to the original animation? No. So why does it exist then?
I don't think it should, but
I agree with you on that point. But Jim Carrey's a good choice.
I don't know. I mean, Jim Carrey.
Look, it's a shameless Hollywood cash grab. Of course, none of us are really going to probably like it, just based on the spirit of that. When they have an original animated version that's way better. But yeah,
But have you guys seen that? Let me tell you something. something that helped me appreciate this movie a little bit more was watching that Illumination one with Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Dude, I watched that shit.
Why?
I don't know. The Grinch isn't even the Grinch in it, dude. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, I haven't
Dude,
watched
the Grinch is like what's considered a jerk now is like the Grinch is basically just like someone who kind of stands up for himself and doesn't just let people patronize him and shit. And for that, he's treated like you're the Grinch, basically.
That's not what the Grinch is. He was like a pessimist that always brought everybody down, and they drove him away, or he drove himself away from society because he hated it so much.
Dude, they turned the Grinch into like a slightly snarky like valley girl, basically.
I want the Grinch to be like a Diogenes living in a bathtub, being an asshole, like just a rabble-rousing piece of shit.
Well,
That's
he's
what I want
barely
him to be.
in the original.
He's barely even a jerk,
That's what I want.
dude. There's like emotional, tender, loving moments with the Grinch before his transformation. You know what I mean? Like,
fuck, man, shut the fuck up.
They
I
make
want to
him-
hear more about this shit.
they don't even. He's not even the Grinch. It
I want to
sucks.
fucking punch you in the face for
Anyway.
even fucking making me. I was blissfully ignorant of this shit, and now you've made me aware of it. So
Anyway, both Jim
Fuck
Carrey and Jim Carrey has more comedic films. Me, Myself, and Irene, a bunch of other ones too. But
love that one.
Robin Williams also has a bunch more comedic films. And by the way, both these guys have had comedic films that are not very good.
Sadly,
Robin Williams had
incomplete research yet again. Strike.
I mean, it's not
3 for
incomplete
TJ.
research. It's just there's a shit ton of fucking movies.
It's
I
10
would call
this
10 lame points.
I
10
would
lame
call
points
this
now?
incomplete search, TJ.
You really want this episode to be? We could sit here for like 12 hours or something.
We're not trying to sit here for 12 hours, TJ. We're just asking questions. Is Paul not allowed to ask you a question now?
What question?
Exact-
There was
thank
no
you,
question.
Scotty.
Oh my God.
There
Not
was
allowed
no
to ask-
question.
He
What
was
the
trying
fuck?
to simply ask you a question about the research
Uh-huh.
document, and you instantly become defensive and deflect.
How was there?
Incredibly defensive.
Oh my goodness.
I
TJ.
pulled like fucking 7 movies for each of these motherfuckers. Anyway,
I mean, look, it's your
So
show,
look,
TJ. If you want me to make
there's
this based
plenty
on
of-
incomplete information, of course we can do that for you.
so you want me to go over their entire filmography?
I didn't
with
say
you?
that, TJ.
Yes, you basically
I
are
didn't
saying
say
that.
that.
You're
I didn't
saying
say
okay,
that.
whatever.
I never said
Anyway,
that.
both these guys were in Stinkers too. Mr. Popper's Penguins or some
That's a
shit
great
like that.
film, TJ. Great film. Lots of
What else was
Penguins.
Jim Carrey in? He's Fun with Dick and Jane, Yes Man.
What's
Jim
that?
Carrey did a lot of
Bruce
uninspired.
Almighty
Yes,
shit.
Man was great. Bruce Almighty, great, TJ. You love that one.
Bruce Almighty was a hit though, but
It was
whatever.
a
I
hit,
didn't really
but I
care
don't
for
like
it.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
really
didn't
into it
care
either.
for it
So
either,
Bruce
if I'm being
Almighty,
honest.
whatever, and Robin Williams did Patch Adams and Man of the Year and fucking Jack.
Yeah. A lot of stinkers in there too.
Millennium
Oh my God.
Man.
A Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial, yeah, not
yeah,
that great.
Bicentennial Man, yeah.
Although a lot of people defend that movie to me, I don't understand them.
I don't
I
either.
do like his I like his character design. That's about it.
I thought it was fucking. It was an interesting concept executed in like the most fucking whatever.
Yeah. You hate schmaltzy shit, and that's about as
I mean,
schmaltzy
it
as
doesn't get schmaltzier than that bullshit.
It's pure undiluted schmaltz from the schmaltz factory.
That was like 10
Yeah.
Spielberg's worth of schmaltz in one
It's
movie.
like those Rick and Morty wafer cookies, but made from Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg's fucking
Anyway,
fever dreams.
so comedy films, Robin Williams, Jim Carrey. Who's it going to be?
Fuck, man.
Who's it going to be?
I mean, nostalgia for me would definitely would lead me more towards Jim Carrey. I would say that just because of like, if I think about my childhood, I mean, it's like Jim Carrey.
well,
Jim
Carrey's
Jim
films definitely had a bigger impact on our generation coming up.
Well, see,
I'll say that.
you say our generation, but I actually am a little fucking older than you guys, and it makes a big difference here because I straddle the 2 generations in which these guys were really pumping out their comedy.
Sure,
films.
yeah, you really do. More
You're
so
in the
than us.
middle ground.
My childhood,
the
I
arid
grew
desert.
up watching all these Robin Williams films, and in my teenage years, it was Jim Carrey films, and so it's like, what do I do here? Which one do I go with? I have to go with my gut. And as much as it pains me to say so, I think that Robin Williams films have held up better than Jim Carrey's films. And so I'm going to vote for Robin Williams just based on that. If I were to sit down and watch, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something even comparable in there and that we went through today.
Well, you know, a point to Williams, I will say, Paul, I don't think the filmography he made in totality went as kind of far down as I think Jim Carrey's went. I don't think Robin Williams had that. I mean, there's obviously some films of his that are like, but I don't know. It's definitely close.
I'm an apologist for Robin Williams. I've seen most of the films that he was in, even though bad ones, and he's always like a decent presence in those films usually. I don't know. It's hard for me to vote for Jim Carrey in this just based on how poorly some of this work is aged. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective 1 and 2. I remember laughing my ass off when I was a kid, but I've watched them.
That rhino scene remains funny, though.
What was it?
The rhino scene remains funny.
Oh, well, yeah, but that as a standalone is one of the things you've ever seen.
I mean,
so like, you know.
Oh my god, yeah,
but
dude.
The rest of the goddamn movie is pretty painful.
Dude, that rhino thing. Oh my god.
Pokes his finger out.
Oh my god. The crowd,
kids are
reaction,
like,
the
rhino's
shot.
giving birth.
The horrified family. Oh my god, so beautiful.
The way he's great. Okay, that is funny, but that movie as a whole, I would just recommend you find that scene and watch it, and don't waste your time with the goddamn movie because the rest of it has not aged well. And same thing for Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Same thing for The Mask.
I have to say that I don't think they've aged as poorly as Paul.
Hold on. Read the list because you said you pulled 7 for each of them, right? Just rapid fire. Remind me of the ones that you pulled so that we can
roughly 7. Okay, so
Robin Williams.
It wasn't like exactly 7. Robin Williams. I pulled Popeye, Hook, Aladdin, Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji, and the Birdcage. Jim Carrey. I pulled Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Liar Liar, Batman Forever, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Both incomplete lists, but I'm not asking you to judge by that.
Yeah, both, of course, typical TJ Slipshod lists. But
well, what do you want? It would have taken forever. They have huge filmographies, man.
I'm fucking with you, TJ.
They have large.
Yeah, but not all these stupid fucks in the audience get that shit. So they're like,
stupid fucks in the audience. How dare you?
Who do you think they're attracted by, TJ? Those are Tajika fans in the audience. Okay, you need to have a talk with those motherfuckers.
TJ's research is perfect, Paul. Don't ever say otherwise.
Hearing Paul bust on TJ's research constantly really ruined this episode for me. TJ's my god, they'll lap the sweat from underneath his balls.
I hear the keyboard clacking now.
All right, listen. So I'm inclined to agree with you on the fucking where this shit falls. I think.
Robin Williams' movies have aged better. Good Morning Vietnam was made well before any of these Jim Carrey films and is a better overall film in context than any of these films on this list.
You're probably right about that.
You may be right, but you know what? With my childhood and my shit, dude, I'm just the youngest one here. I'm going with fucking Jim Carrey.
I don't blame you. See, if I were born fucking how much older am I than you? I'm 41. You're what? 32?
You're 7 years difference.
So okay, so you're 34.
This year.
This year you'll be turning 34.
So in a few months.
Right. There's 7 years between us. So dude, if I was born 7 years before I was, I'd be right there fucking with you because this would be my childhood. But because I got one foot in each, and I can look at both of them and say which one of this, what age better. I feel like the fucking Robin Williams movies
and your
hold up
nostalgia.
better.
I mean, you clearly have a love for Williams. I mean, that's just something that you had. I mean, and you see why. I mean, all these he was like basically the Jim Carrey of his fucking time.
Sure.
I mean, and still had a career well after that. I mean, he was one of those people that he was able to be in the business for so long because he's just a seminal and unique talent that just wasn't. You just couldn't find someone like Robin Williams. Obviously, all these guys have made bad decisions and made bad films, but yeah, I can see that from that vantage point. From where I'm sitting, dude. This is shit I grew up with.
So TJ, let me try and buy your vote on this one with a concept.
Let me tell you what.
You pulled around 7 films. Hold on, and then I'll let you go. You pulled around 7 films for each of these guys.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah,
whatever it was. If you had a gun to your head and you had to watch all of those films concurrently, which man do you choose? You either have to watch every fucking Jim Carrey film that you listed concurrently without end, or every fucking Williams film that you listed concurrently without end. Which man do you go for? Think of it in those terms.
All right, well, hold on. Let me think about it then. So Popeye.
That seems to answer it for me.
I don't enjoy Popeye that much. I don't enjoy
to get your favorite film, someone's going to put a gun to your head and be like, look, you're going to pick this movie or this movie. That's it.
So there's, okay. I would say both in both these instances, I like about 2 of these films a lot. and the others I don't really care for as much. But these are not even like my favorite films. I just want to pick stuff that people would be familiar with and that were benchmarks.
Sure. Well, no,
But here's
it's
the
okay.
thing. Here's where I'm kind of falling on this shit. I mean, when it comes to that gun test, I guess that I'd probably slightly prefer the Jim Carrey stuff. But
Good answer.
I mean, like when it comes right down to it, when I look at like the full robust, like Jim Carrey was at his best when he's like the unrestrained madman character and he has the perfect vehicle to be that in, right?
Or the perfect foil.
Right. Robin Williams, though, like Robin Williams can totally just be the straight man and succeed at it.
Yeah.
He can be as outrageous as you need him to be, but he can be.
We're talking about comedic films, though. So,
Right.
if,
But I'm saying, like,
Jim Carrey
separate
was
the
in-
categories.
hold up.
You separate the categories.
I'm not talking about drama here. I'm talking about him being the straight man in comedy.
Oh, okay. Well, fair
I'm
enough.
talking about
Fair
him
enough.
being able to have the versatility
Well,
to
there's
be.
a movie then that you left off that I think is a dramedy that has its foot in both camps, which is The Truman Show, where
Sure.
the whole point is that he's the straight man.
That's true, and he does pull that off. I feel like.
No, he more than pulls it off. That movie's beautiful.
That's an awesome
It's a good
movie.
film.
Yeah.
So Carrey does have that, but like honestly, you know, like I feel like a lot of times when he tries to venture into that territory, it's not too successful. But I don't know.
What?
Then
The number 21, you gonna hold that gun to his head for the rest of his life?
we'll get to that.
Or the number
23.
27?
The 23, Paul.
23, whatever.
20. The 20s. It's somewhere. It's a 20.
I know it's a
You're
number
right. I mean,
and it was in its
it's
20s.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into the drama stuff
No,
right now.
I'm just saying.
No, we should.
What I'm talking about in comedy, though, I'm saying that in comedy.
How did these films age, in your opinion? Because you know that fucking Ace Ventura 1 and 2 aged the fuck out. You may as well scratch them off the goddamn list, right? So if you're taking it down to something that's not just your personal preference, who's got the more watchable library of fucking films during their peak as comedy films is what you're asking us. I say Williams. Scotty says motherfucking Jim Carrey, and you are doing this.
I look at this
fucking
list,
hip-hop
PJ.
dance between the two.
If I see
It's
TJ,
tough, it's
if
rough,
I,
man.
No, Paul. I imagine this. So TJ is browsing Amazon Prime. She just sees Popeye. Ugh. She just sees Hook. No way. Aladdin. That's on Disney Plus. So I guess we'll
He's
say
watching
maybe
that
just.
shit.
Yeah, Aladdin he would watch. Mrs. Doubtfire, probably not. Jumanji, probably not. Birdcage, maybe if he's really in the mood. Can you go the other ones?
Mm-hmm.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, maybe if you catch you in
I
the right mood.
don't think it's aged that poorly.
Dumb
I don't
and
know
Dumber,
what- okay.
Dumb and Dumber for sure. I know you.
I love
probably at least
Dumb
once a
and
year. You're
Dumber.
going to settle on that one. Liar, Liar, maybe not as much. Mask, probably not. Batman Forever, if you're in the right mood.
I'm never watching Batman Forever.
Okay, How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Fuck no, you ain't watching that shit.
No, I probably wouldn't.
So I mean, to me, it comes down to Dumb and Dumber. And what's your favorite Williams one on there? Aladdin.
On this, probably the Birdcage. I don't know.
Birdcage.
That's a pretty funny movie.
Well, between those two, TJ, if you're on fucking Prime or whatever, and you have to pick, which one are you gonna watch tonight?
Tonight?
Which one are you gonna watch? Well, look, we're in this fucking present moment
let's say
right
that
now.
Right now, rather than finishing the show, you can just walk away from Scotty and Paul and go sit down and plop down. And all of fucking Amazon Prime and all of your subscription services only have 2 movies, and it's The Birdcage and fucking Dumb and Dumber.
Shit.
Which one are you gonna watch today?
Which one you
right
hitting play
now?
on?
I mean, I'll tell you what. I've seen the Birdcage like 2 or 3 times in my life, and I've seen Dumb and Dumber probably like 25 plus times. So, I mean, odds are I'm probably gonna watch Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Then I
Does
guess
that mean
Jim
I have to go with Carrey?
steals one away with his goofy fucking antics yet again, and his horrible transphobic fucking poorly aged nonsense.
I mean, it is transphobic. I won't deny that.
There's no denying it at all.
Controversies. So in this one, I guess you're going to give the point to whoever's controversies are less offensive to you personally.
What if I like their controversies?
Yeah, maybe you'll like the
I
controversies.
mean, if I like their controversies, I
Just
might give them the point for that.
Who you like best after you've heard the controversies?
Now, this one to me really is anybody's game here because as far as the other biases, it's like that's performance based. This is like, oh man,
All right, so
what fucked up shit happened?
let's
here?
open with a rumor from page 6. Robin Williams co-star never took offense at his groping. He's out there sexually harassing people. Morgan Mindy co-star Pam Dauber claims she was repeatedly sexually harassed by the late comedian, but she didn't mind. I had the grossest things done to me by him, Pam Dauber told the New York Times writer David Iskoff via the Daily Mail. And I never took offense. I mean, I was flashed, humped, bumped, grabbed. I think he probably did it to a lot of people, but it was so much fun. Well, I mean,
I've never really heard sexual assault described that way, but I mean, if I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, you're gonna cancel him when the woman herself that underwent it said it was really fun the way he was with her. Like,
I liked when he grabbed my titty. I don't know.
That's fine, dude. If she had turned around and been like, "Robin, don't fucking do that,
touch me," and
he kept doing it, she probably wouldn't think it was fun. You know what I mean?
But nonetheless, people offended. So
she wanted it. She was asking for it too, Pam Dahmer. God damn.
Joke theft. We already talked about this in a previous episode, but we'll recap pretty quickly here. We actually did a whole episode on joke theft. Robin Williams was a known joke thief. It was said that if a comedian saw Robin in the audience, they would stop their act to prevent him from stealing their material. Comedian David Brenner once told Robin's agent, "Tell Robin if he ever takes one more line from me, I'll rip his leg off and shove it up his fucking ass." In a 2010 interview, Robin stated that when he was young, he did not understand the consequences of borrowing material and was simply joke sampling.
I like that defense. Like, look, someone samples a little thing. I was joke sampling.
Look, when I watch another comedian's work, it's like I'm at the grocery store and they're like, "Would you like a free sample of sausage?" And I take it and I eat it. And if I remember that little bite of sausage, I might regurgitate it later and burp it up during my set. But look, it was just a sample.
Yeah.
Look, his idea that when I was little, I didn't understand stealing from people. He was a rich kid.
Yeah.
Undermined right there. He knew he was stealing. Let's be real. Joke sampling.
So this is drug use. I don't think anyone here is going to be holding that against him. Ron Williams loved cocaine. Shocking to no one.
No.
According to Robin, cocaine for me was a place to hide. Most people get hyper on coke. It slowed me down. On March 5th, 1982, Robin Williams, Robert Downey Jr., and John Belushi were hanging out snorting cocaine. Later that day, Robin and Robert left. John was given 11 speedball injections, a mixture of heroin and cocaine. The Belushi tragedy was frightening. His death scared me. Scared a whole group of show business people. It showed a big exodus from drugs. And for me, there was the baby coming. I knew I couldn't be a father and live that sort of life. That's Robin Williams on the death of his friend.
All right. I mean, this is a controversy, but it's not like his controversy.
Yeah. He quit drugs and alcohol 6 months before his first child was born in 1983. He relapsed 2006, began drinking and doing cocaine again. Says... there was still in the background this voice like, psst. So when I relapsed, I went back hard. So basically, he went back to drugs, like many things Robin Williams did. He did it with that Robin Williams passion and zeal.
Sure.
Hey, Robin, want to do coke? No. And just one day, like, hey, Robin, want to do coke? Yeah. It's like no, just that kind of personality.
Well, let's talk about some of Jim Carrey's controversies. Anti-vax. Jim Carrey has been publicly vocal against vaccines for years. Many believe his views stem from his 2005 to 2010 relationship with Jenny McCarthy. He claims not to be anti-vax, but anti-mercury. Here's Jim Carrey tweeting. California governor, this is 2015, says yes to poisoning more children with mercury and aluminum in mandatory vaccines. This corporate fascist must be stopped. They say mercury in fish is dangerous, but forcing all of our children to inject with mercury and thimerosal is no risk. Makes sense? He further believes that vaccines cause autism and received backlash when posting a random picture he found of an autistic boy on his Twitter to further his cause. The child was Alex Eccles of Eugene, Oregon. He suffers from tuberculosis sclerosis, which causes painful tumors to form all over the body. Many children with TSC also suffer from autism. Jim Carrey has a huge platform, a huge following, and is misrepresenting my son's image by attaching it to his anti-vax rant, Alex's mother stated. Carrey later apologized for the incident. He has also attended multiple anti-vax rallies. with his then partner, Jenny McCarthy. They're no longer together. He also got into a little bit of controversy for shitting on his own movie back in 2013.
I can't blame him in this one.
The film was Kick-Ass 2. Jim Carrey played Colonel Stars and Stripes, leader of a gang of superheroes. Jim was one of the film's main characters. He was supposed to do promotional interviews and such for the film, but refused after the events of the Sandy Hook school shooting. He says, I did Kick-Ass a month before Sandy Hook, and now, in all good conscience, I cannot support that level of violence. My apologies to others involved with the film. I am not ashamed of it, but recent events have caused a change in my heart, said Jim Carrey. Some question his decision because if he supported gun control all along, why would he play a gun-toting Punisher-type character to begin with? But and also, I think a lot of people just felt like it was a dick move to.
I mean, there's tons of there's gunplay in a lot of the shit that he's done. The Mask had like dual fucking miniguns that he shot everybody up with.
He just didn't want to go out and support this movie. He just wanted to come up with some. It sounds like he just wanted to get out of it.
So that's raggedy, dude. I got to tell you, that's raggedy. I got to. Is there any more?
That's pretty much it.
All right. So let me tell you where I feel right now. I don't think Robin Williams really has a controversy. I think Robin Williams got some salty comedians that are sad that he took little niblets of their fucking material like any of it mattered. And that's the worst thing that he did, probably. The drugs and alcohol shit, I don't judge people for that. Jim Carrey, though, this shit right here is shitty poo butt. Like pretending all of a sudden that like you care about gun control and gun tragedies when you lived through fucking Columbine like the rest of us, and this is well after Columbine, and then Sandy Hook happens. You want to be like, oh, I got a change in heart. No, you just didn't believe in the fucking property, and in doing so you shat on everybody that fucking worked with you. So fuck you. That sucks. The anti-vax shit. There's no excuse for that.
The anti-vax shit is so
you know what
lame.
the worst thing about it though is the anti-vax shit. That's not even really his. He's malleable. That's Jenny McCarthy. He got pussy fucking wooed. He was in the pussy ether, and all of a sudden he became anti-vax because Jenny McCarthy had a child from a previous relationship that was autistic, and she was already down the anti-vax autism rabbit hole.
Turned out her kid wasn't even autistic either.
Yeah,
she was wrong about that.
Double boo for Jim Carrey. I vote for Jim Carrey. Easy peasy.
You mean you vote for Robin Williams?
Or well, you know what I mean. Like
as the better of the two,
right?
Yeah, TJ didn't even have to ask my vote.
Yeah, I mean, we all. I mean,
when someone's an anti-vaxxer, I'm not voting for them.
It's fucking clear that Williams wins this fucking category.
There's no fucking way.
I mean,
Jim Carrey's personal beliefs on that front, he can eat a dick in hell. Fucking moron.
Let's look at dramatic performances. Both these guys done a shit ton of fucking drama as well as comedy. Versatile performers that they are. We have a small sampling of films here from Robin Williams. We have this Good Will Hunting. This is the scene that probably he did win an Oscar for this, right?
No, Good Will Hunting won a Best Picture Oscar this year. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck won the Oscar because they co-wrote the film.
That's right.
And co-produced.
Yeah. So Robin Williams did not win an Oscar for this role?
I don't believe so, but you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, let me see.
I'll look it up. You can keep going.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I think he was at least nominated.
I believe he was at least nominated for an Oscar for this performance, and probably deservedly so. This scene's really cool. This is Matt Damon as Will Hunting basically picks apart the psychology of the psychologist played by Robin Williams here.
All right, I was wrong. He did win Best Supporting Actor for this in 98.
Deservedly so.
Well, anyway, you see here, he's not putting up with that shit, you know? He's like everyone else lets this guy push him around just with his like big intellect and the fact that he's not, a slouch physically himself either. But Robin Williams is like, I'm not having this shit. You ain't fucking picking my ass apart. I'll fucking beat your ass down. Beautiful fucking scene. A lot of great scenes between these two. Robin Williams really fucking naturally falls into this like mentor role. Plays it with just the right amount of like compassion, but also like, you might be super smart, but I have wisdom.
Okay, so let me just correct the record so I didn't misinform people. He won for Best Actor. Ben Affleck and Damon won for Best Screenplay. It was nominated for Best Picture that year, but didn't win.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
so there you go.
Cool.
Also nominated for
Best.
Best.
Kind of mattered, so that's why we're even. If this was a new movie, I don't even think we'd care what the Oscars had to say.
No, not really.
But
Gus
it actually
Van
did kind of
Sant
have
was nominated. Matt Damon was nominated for Best Actor. Minnie Driver, Best Supporting Actress. Pietro Scalia for editing this film, and Danny Elfman for the score. And it also got nominated for the Best Original Song, Miss Misery, by Elliott Smith.
I don't really remember the song, but movie was pretty good. 1 hour photo. He got a lot of critical acclaim for this movie.
It also got buried. Like, critics loved it, audiences ignored it, and if you have never heard of or seen this movie, I try and turn people on to this movie all the time. It's my favorite dramatic performance.
There is a scene. I mean, like, so there is not a hint of the funny, affable Robin Williams in this character. This is a Robin Williams like you've probably never seen him before, honestly. Like, there is not an ounce of that, like, charm or whatever.
When he's
it's
out
like,
being in front and trying to be nice to people, you see a little bit of that Robin Williams, but it's so dark. You can tell already that it's hiding something very dark, and he's the villain, kind of protagonist in this film.
Very depressed character, very dismal view of the world.
Absolutely obsessed with other people's lives through his job as a photo developer at a little kiosk in a
there's
Walmart.
A great scene in this where he's watching The Simpsons, and it's like a pretty funny episode of The Simpsons, and he's just sitting there watching it, but with like stone-faced, miserable, just there's no joy in him whatsoever. Just like it might as well not even be on. You can tell his mind is like totally elsewhere, fixated on some crazy thing. And, it's not a big bombastic movie. There's not like a huge finale or climax to it. It kind of wraps up how it might in real life if this happened. But yeah, it's a pretty fucking crazy performance out of Robin Williams. Totally unlike, most of what you see in his fucking,
so it's really fucking great. He's actually a sympathetic monster. He's like Grendel in this. You on one hand feel for his loneliness, and on the other hand are repulsed by how far he goes in pursuit of the end of that loneliness, or to pretend he's not lonely. Pretty fucked up movie, and a really great movie that I try and get anybody that hasn't seen to go see.
It's good. I'll back you on that. Dead Poets Society,
which he reprised a role of, and they renamed him though because they thought it would be weird. So they named the guy Daniel Keating in this movie, or Robert Keating. Sorry.
Right.
And of course,
actually did that in real life though. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, he started the Dead Poets Society, and then, like in the 90s, they got him to come back and do it again,
right?
To do the story of it, but from the perspective of like he grew up, and instead of becoming Robin Williams, he grew up to become a teacher named Keating, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clear that up.
That's what happened for sure.
Yeah, this is real life.
I don't want to play a clip from it. This is
of course
outright clip from the movie here. Maybe I'll play a little snip here.
Romance, love. These are what we stay alive for.
There you go.
Honestly, like, Robin Williams is great in this movie, but I think he's honestly outshined by the young men that surround him, which take up far more screen time and import in the film than he does.
Sure. He's there to be the inspirational teacher that gets them to look at the world in new fucking ways and all.
But I love this movie. It's dripping with shit that you've claimed to hate. Like, I know it's not a Spielberg film, but it's dripping with that kind of saccharine Spielberg. Everything's glossy and snowy and glittery and wonderful kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it has a little edge to it here and there. There's like a few
definitely has
sting and stuff, and I don't know. It has a few moments that kind of balance that out for me a little better than something like Hook does. So I would say I'm a little bit less critical of it, but I do kind of roll my eyes at some of the fucking big inspirational, soaring orchestral fucking,
sentimental music plays.
And then he gives the big speech to the movie villain, and
a stirring speech if I've ever heard one. Yeah, you just felt it's a very rote movie.
Oh, Captain! And shut up,
dude. Oh, come on, man. This movie's great. Fuck you, TJ, and your cynical nonsense.
TJ's not a big fan of anything that's optimistic.
I gotta come in with the
sense. Sentimentality is a part of human life too, TJ, and shit pooping on any movie that's sentimental at all is fucked up, dude. Come on.
Well, I mean, I'm awash with
your sentiments are wrong.
Sentimentality ain't one of
them.
Anyway, here you go. Wait a minute. Listen.
You're an uncaring, unfeeling monster.
Are you ready for the best fucking Robin Williams you ever seen? This is fucking Robin Williams on Law and Order SVU.
Damn.
I won't do it. Then I will. That was 2 seconds. If you refuse again, it goes up to 4 seconds.
Yeah, Robin Williams ain't fucking around no more.
Yeah, somebody saw that dark ass 1 hour photo turn and they were like, okay.
Maybe Robin Williams just wanted to actually be seen playing a villain.
Maybe.
Because no one saw 1 hour photo.
True.
But yeah, I guess I didn't even know he did this, but I guess he did.
Yeah, a little guest spot.
I don't know.
Like
that was kind of a neat little thing. Let's take a look at some of Carrey's. I don't want to bias anything, but I would say blatantly more mixed bag.
Yeah, I think that's.
You don't want to bias anything, but a bunch of bad movies coming.
I mean,
I don't want to bias you, but yeah,
so I'm not. They're not all. This is a good one.
This is a good one.
Truman Show is a good movie.
I agree with you.
It's good. We already established that it's good. It has a neat concept for the time, especially. It's all about breaking out of your little cookie cutter world that is imposed upon you.
Yeah.
Which, obviously a lot of people can relate to in one way or another. It's got a little bit of that inspirational
you got to keep.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
You got to keep in mind too the time that this came out, the explosion of reality TV. And it's a commentary on that too, like actually living your life rather than watching the artificial life of somebody else.
I feel like this kind of actually preceded a lot of the reality TV craze, and kind of predicted it a little bit.
Maybe
it was already out there, but I don't think it had taken that complete stranglehold of our culture like it has now. But
Survivor hadn't dropped just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. This is 98. I could be getting my time up.
I know it wasn't. Because I remember I was in Arizona when Survivor premiered, and that would have been 99 or 2000 at least.
Right. So this movie is a little bit ahead of the curve, not crazy, but like the idea of an entire human life lived on television without consent, and that no one seems to care about the moral implications of that, except for a group of people that are like kind of cast as like whiners or something, almost like, oh wow, these moral busybodies care about
enough. This whole world is designed around him, but just how much in our culture it's really designed with like people really wanting to pursue that actively. So it's almost like the Truman Show has become, not really in this sense, but the sense that people have actually done it voluntarily.
It's true. A weird inversion of the Truman Show now when you look at Instagram influencers and TikTokers and shit who actually want to create this false sense of reality and constant opulence and fun around them and present that to the world, rather than, the other end of it where they're unwilling and unwitting participants and everybody else's entertainment, Like,
there's a lot of stuff in this movie that kind of is like, well, there's an idea that this world was created around him, but really like, it was created to contain him. He's like pumped full of fear of the outside world or exploration, because obviously they want him to not be curious about what's beyond where he's already seen. And there's, they kill his father off, so just like the trauma of losing a parent just because a corporation has decided that's right for your character arc of the character you don't even know you're fucking playing, Right. There's a lot of crazy shit that's done to him that's like super unethical, that like is just totally accepted at face value within the world of the Truman Show. And unfortunately, like there's parallels to our world that can easily be like pointed out. So this is a good one. No doubt about that. The number 23.
Oh man, a real fucking stinker.
You know, I was actually kind of hyped for this movie to come out. Yeah, a little bit.
How?
I'll tell you, because you know,
What is he in this little? Not little.
I have
finger,
this. I have a tendency to
fingerling.
I have a tendency to obsess over certain numbers at certain times. So
And you like this number?
The number 33.
Well, I don't necessarily like the number 23,
The
but
number
I
33.
I understand the sense of being like going around and
You
being
would
like
simp-
hyper aware of a
you would-
particular number or pattern or thing or totem or whatever.
You would simp for this movie so hard if it was the number 33.
Probably not. I don't think
Yes,
so.
you
It's
would.
really bad.
Yes, you
TJ
would.
would
You'd be like,
be in here making the fucking I'm gonna die on this hill argument for this movie if it was the number 33.
isn't even the number for me anymore.
Oh, what is it now?
I have a new obsession.
Oh,
222.
because you fucked up and told everybody your previous session.
The number 222.
I warn you. Hell is real.
TJ, you know what it really is? 222 times.
I'll tell you what,
3
though.
is 666, TJ.
But anyway, this movie,
33333.
even for a fucking weirdo like me, this movie sucks ass. There's all these weird flashbacks to like a fictional
Fingerling.
world where his name is Detective Fingerling. And every time he said it, the entire audience laughed because it's such a stupid name, and it
Fingerling.
obviously is evocative of fingering. And he would say it like, "I am Detective Fingerling." You know, and be like, his I don't know. It sucks. It's so bad.
22227
Hey, crap. Yeah.
26 27 277744444.
The Majestic.
Yeah.
There's nothing majestic about this movie. This movie is boring and long and lame and
Quite
Wait, hold
frankly,
on.
I suppose I lack the courage.
yeah, quite frankly, I suppose I lack the courage to watch this movie ever again because I will fall asleep during it.
The
Yeah.
Majestic is a story of a guy who's what does he do? He's like a
He like
script
saves
writer.
a theater or some shit.
Well, no, he's like in the movie industry, and he gets amnesia and ends up in a small town, and they think he's this other guy, and
Right.
and he saves the Majestic movie theater, and then he remembers who he is, and he has to go testify before Congress about communism, and then he
Hey, guys.
makes his big speech.
You know
about
Jim Carrey,
America or
the
whatever.
bombastic, over the top, great physical comedic actor. Do you want to see him restrained in a suit and acting really boring?
Sure.
Then watch this movie.
Here is a more recent attempt.
I have
at
not
some
seen this
direction.
one.
I've not seen it either. This is Dark Crimes. Skip along. Yeah.
Crime right.
He's bearded as fuck.
What the fuck, dude? Jim Carrey, what the hell?
Let's
Is
see
he
if I
a
can.
villain now in this one?
I don't know. I think he's like a detective.
Talk.
You want justice? This is what they made me.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's that kind of movie, and from reviews and stuff, it seems like probably not very good at either.
You know who's next up with as far as the older comedians? Chris Rock's going to do that next. I'm gonna be a detective.
remember, he's trying to do that with Spiral. Yeah, this is Jim
Spiral.
Carrey's Spiral. This is Spiral by Jim Carrey. But then again, did do Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind as well.
True.
Yeah, I like it.
Good movie.
Good flick. Good fucking cerebral sort of like blur the lines between fucking reality and fucking fantasy kind of thing. This is like a less fantastical scene, but most of this takes place like within Jim Carrey's memories as he tries to save his memories that he in the real world has paid to have expunged so that he can forget a painful relationship. But then he kind of realizes that you shouldn't run away from a memory just because it's painful, I guess. Yeah, I mean, pretty good in this, and does a perfectly serviceable job with the drama. I also think he did a sort of a tragicomic fucking take on his Showtime show Kidding, but no one watched that. I'm literally the only person that's seen that. So
Yeah, you tried to push that shit on me. I watched like 3 seconds. I'm like, no.
Everyone's like, nope, too bleak, too depressing, whatever.
This is a TJ show.
It definitely was. No one else liked it, so whatever. It was like Jim Carrey's 1 hour photo, in my opinion. Whatever. Anyway.
Man, TJ, I feel like there's almost...
So, I mean, it's not really much of a fucking contest, is it?
Fingerling! No.
Not at all.
Williams. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Carrey's had a couple good outings and dramatic performances.
Let me just make it clear. I don't think Jim Carrey is necessarily a slouch as a dramatic actor, and I think he's done some good work. And I think that in the right role, he can shine.
Roles. Yeah, but taking terrible role after terrible role after. I mean, not saying that Williams is exempt from that, but Jim Carrey took more.
Robin Williams just has way more credibility as that. He's like won Oscars as that. Not that really. I mean, he's deserved to be. I mean, his accolades are well deserved. He fucking did a great job.
Did you see him as the villain in Insomnia across from Pacino? That's a good.
Great in that. Smaller role, but fucking definitely a fucking great one.
Great in that role.
Cut a fucking imposing serial killer figure. And you know, he's done a bunch of other, I mean, like we didn't even get into like some of the other fucking dramatic role. I mean, Good Morning Vietnam, you could look at that as a comedy role or a dramatic role.
True.
So, you know, there's just stuff, there's so much like that. It's not even close. It's not even fucking worth fucking acting like Jim Carrey could put up a fight there. But
true.
Where does that leave us?
Mystery.
Right?
Mystery.
Wait, hold on. Let's just recap.
Oh, it's all tied up, isn't it?
Early life. Carrey wins.
Carrey.
More of that scrappy underdog story versus the silver spoon in your mouth with that Williams was born.
Williams.
Stand up. We gave it to Williams.
Oh.
Television. It was a split decision, but we gave it to Carrey. Comedic films. It was a split decision, but we gave it to Carrey. Controversies. It was a not at all split decision. Robin Williams definitely looked better at the end of that. Dramatic performances. Not even close. Robin Williams is the better dramatic actor. I don't think it's fucking worth disputing.
Yeah.
So now it's time for the mystery category. All right, here we go. Mystery category.
Who is funnier?
Who's funnier? Fuck the stand-up career or with a comedic film. Like,
doesn't
at
matter
the end of the fucking day, though.
Who's funnier?
These guys are both comedians, comedic actors, guys whose fucking mission in life is to be funny. Who is pound for pound funnier between the two of them? Who's going to make you laugh quicker? You sit down in a room. There's Jim Carrey in front of you. There's Robin Williams in front of you. They're trying to make you laugh. They're in their prime. They're throwing everything they can at you. Which one of those motherfuckers, despite your grim countenance, is going to make you crack a motherfucking smile?
I mean, if you put it that way, I don't think it's much of a contest. I don't think you're going to get what you fucking... Because look, Robin Williams is so quick that Jim Carrey's going to be still setting his shit up, and Robin Williams is already going to have you fucking laughing. He's going to be able to do it. It's not a fucking competition, dude.
It's about the pace. It's about the pace, right? So Robin Williams, Jim Carrey's going to come in and set up a bit that the payoff is really great. Like he turns into fucking James Dean or whatever the fuck. Wow, great payoff, hilarious, astonishing. But in the time that it takes him to go through his motions, you've probably fucking laughed 3 times at Robin Williams. Robin Williams and every, like, you know, because he passed away. Jim Carrey hasn't yet, but everybody that I've ever heard describe working with Robin Williams is that he was relentlessly funny. He horribly sexually harassed his co-star in Mork and Mindy, and she describes it as hella fun, you know, or whatever. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Funnest sexual harassment ever. Where the fuck is Robin Williams' rhino scene? Where is it? You know, think about all them super memorable moments Jim Carrey's giving you. Where is that?
It's not about one scene, TJ. You're trying to poison the well by making it about one scene.
Did I ask who's quickest on the draw with the comedy? Who can make you laugh quicker? No, I say who can make you laugh better, deeper, more explosive. Which one's funnier? Who's fucking funnier?
Right. So,
you know where's Robin Williams coming out of the rhino's ass with the family watching?
It's not about that, TJ. These are 2 different styles of comedy. The joke with the rhino's asshole requires an immense amount of setup, memorization.
Sometimes comedy requires setup, though. What
it does?
That requires fucking setup, TJ. There's the whole reason why he's in the Rhino, why the misconception takes place, the safari people come by. There's a lot of setup to that joke.
There's a lot of setup. That's true.
And in that fucking time where fucking Jim Carrey is setting up a bunch of unfunny shit, Robin Williams has fucking rapid fire cocained you with about 900 half improvisational, half stolen jokes, and he's already bewitched you into laughing so hard that your fucking belly hurts by the end of it, while you're still waiting for Jim Carrey to turn around and look like Elvis. I'm sorry, dude.
All he has to do is look at you and fucking start doing that. Like, I'm gonna do Clint Eastwood. And then that facial transformation starting to happen. Every fucking fiber in his face starts wiggling.
Look, dude, I know you want to suck his dick because you grew up in the 90s and shit. I did too, but I'm telling you, man, when it comes to who is funnier between these two fucking guys, their stand-up tells the tale. Watch Robin Williams stand up. See how well it holds.
Jim Carrey locked in for me. Locked in.
Robin Williams.
Funnier man. Funnier man.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with you.
I
do love
robbed.
Jim
Carrey has been robbed on this show. Look at that.
And there's people I definitely put him up.
Disgusting.
Robin Williams against that.
Collusion.
I think they're funnier than Robin Williams, but I don't think Jim Carrey is gonna. I just don't think Jim Carrey pulls it off. I think it's close.
You're an idiot. Jim Carrey is a funnier man. Sky, can we go talk over there for a second?
All right, sure.
Can we talk over there for a second? Let's talk over there. Yeah. 1 second.
No. This is collusion. He's gonna pay him. He's gonna fucking pay him. This is bullshit. All right, I know how to fucking do this. I know how to handle this.
All right, yeah, so me and TJ have we've come to an arrangement here. I've deeply thought about
I had to
this.
remind Scotty of some stuff that Jim Carrey has done for us,
Yeah, deeply
in our lives,
sorry
some of the moments that
of course,
together,
I mean, just randomly and organically, I have decided that Jim Carrey funnier thing.
Yeah. Now I have no problem with this, Scotty. And you can drop the conceit. All I would say is that as a businessman, that you'd give me the chance to make a counter offer.
Oh, okay.
There's been no offer here. There's no counter.
Let's drop the conceit.
A little discussion that we had a moment ago.
Yeah. So Paul Simkin,
how much did he pay you?
Oh, what are you talking about, Paul? Just got a text from Paul here. TJ, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I had to change my vote back to Williams, unfortunately.
I guess I bid higher on the horse, didn't I?
Sorry, TJ, I mean, look, it's just business, nothing personal. We are family, but I'm gonna have to put it back to Williams.
Well, but unfortunately, my vote counts for 2 votes, and so Carrey wins.
That's fucking bullshit.
The fucking category. He wins the show. What is this?
Williams, dude. Come on, TJ. Come now.
What the fuck? Okay, well, I changed. Okay, that's fine. But I changed my vote from comedic films. I now give it. No, I can't change. I already fucking on Carrey's side. Damn it. No.
You already did it that way.
There's nothing I can change to win.
Nope. You're fucked.
Boo.
You can't
All
cheat.
right. You should have died, dude. You should have fucking tried to make a bigger case.
You should have paid Scotty
greatest...
better. You insulted Scotty with that paltry few dollars you handed him.
I want that back, by the way.
I'm keeping it. No, I'm keeping
it.
fucking,
we'll talk about it. In the greatest miscarriage of justice this show has ever fucking seen, in a disgusting display of fucking, I don't even want to call it stupidity. It would be an insult to stupidity to call it stupidity. But somehow Robin Williams has won the day. I guess we'll all just have to live in a world where that's the fucking way it is. Robin Williams, definitively better than Jim Carrey, and we didn't mention his fucking suicide once, so classy on us. All right, see you later. Bye-bye. I killed himself because he couldn't measure up to Carrey. That's all I'm saying.
You just mentioned. You just fuck.
Deep Bad Fight.